This is the Kubota RTV 1100, and I'm going to talk about some further modifications I've made to this machine. This machine has been turbocharged and has an air-to-water intercooler. You can see I put some decals on the hood on either side. I added turbo and also on the back. Inside of the cab, I've added a stereo. You can see the head unit there. There's 4 speakers. There's 2 in the ceiling. There's 2 below. I made my own boxes here, and it's a little bit tricky because you need to clear the doors. Also inside the cab I have a couple of custom gauges. I have an exhaust gas temperature gauge right there, and I've got a boost gauge there. The boost measures the boost putting out by the turbo. The exhaust gas temperature measures the temperature of the exhaust leaving the engine. I also have heated seats on this unit. The button for that's right there. The heated seats are just 2 pads, one on each side, that go underneath the cloth in the seats. I bought those from Jags. Pretty easy install. Just pull up the cloth, put the pads in, and wire them up. Relatively inexpensive, about $90. And in the Northeast, believe it or not, they're very, very nice to have. I also have a custom horn on this unit. Straight out of the Dukes of Hazzard. My latest modification as far as the engine goes is I have a custom made header, as you can see here. You can see that it's wrapped, and that's to keep the heat in the tubes to feed the turbo, wrapped all the way around. Down below there you can see a bung, and that's for the exhaust gas temperature. Very important on a diesel, especially one with the turbo and one that you're modifying, to keep an eye on your exhaust gas temperature, because as you modify the engine you want to keep the exhaust gas temperatures within certain parameters so you don't hurt the engine. This is the original header unit right here, and you can tell this is a log style type of header. And the reason I made my custom one is this would be your number 1 cylinder here, number 2 and number 3 cylinder, and all 3 of those feed and come out this exhaust port. Okay? The problem with this particular log style type header is you've got the exhaust pulses from 1 and 2 and also from 1 and 3 kind of fighting each other to get out through this exhaust port, and that slows down the velocity. With the tube style header, you can see that doesn't happen. You've got all 3 pipes separate, and then they come down into a collector down here, and that feeds into the turbo. Keeps up the velocity. The heat helps spin the turbo. Altogether, it's a good modification. And I have noticed some performance gains with the header. I picked up about half a pound, maybe a little bit more of boost, and I also noticed that the turbo spools much quicker. Now, a half a pound may not sound like a lot, but we're talking about a very small engine here that doesn't produce a lot of boost to begin with, so every little bit counts. And the fact that it spools up quicker and I picked up a little more boost, it was definitely worth the effort it took to make this modification. So those are my most recent modifications.